So there's our new ideas and our new thoughts and what we're currently using, and we will get back to you in a month and we will show you
another solution
that we came up with.
Back to Victron and battle-borne batteries. So.
Oh my God. Hey guys, we have an update for you on the EcoFlow Delta Pro. It no longer exists in the van.
Yeah.
Should we say why it no longer exists in the van?
So we haven't been giving you an update for a while, and definitely take this as a grain of salt as far as this could just be the one.
We got a lemon.
Yeah, we got, or not even a lemon, like something happened. It's no big deal. But anyway, the Delta Pro had issues and the screen would not turn on. So we could charge it because we could hear the fan going on and charge, but we couldn't see it on the app. We couldn't see it on the screen, wouldn't turn on. We called in to try and get assistance from EcoFlow, and the first gentleman we talked to said send it in, but we're like, oh, that's like 8 weeks turnaround time. That's our power. Mm-hmm. So anyway, and that's, regardless. I mean, there's nothing they can do, if it's...
And the second guy we talked to actually troubleshooted with us for a long time.
Somewhat, yeah.
And you are very technological inclined. Is that the right word?
Well, I've been
you know what
working
you're
tech
doing
for a long time,
yes.
So yeah.
You know what you're doing with electronics. So...
Yeah, but what that proved though, let's back up just a little bit. When I first started going to design the second van without the Victron, without the battle-borne batteries, the DC charger, all that, I was going to go with smaller, like not Jackery, but maybe Blue Eddy or whatever. And then I came across the EcoFlow Delta Pro that allowed you to EV charge it from an EV station. So that's why I flipped my mind. So my original thought, and always my thought is to keep it simple and redundant. So you're not just stuck with one thing. And right now, like a refrigerator, yeah, if that goes out, we're stuck with the one thing. But we have, it's going to change in a few days, but right now we just have a Home Depot refrigerator or a Best Buy refrigerator or a Walmart or whatever. So we can go and flip it out. So that's how we like to live, where we don't have to depend on one item, and if that goes out, we're kind of like, oh, what do we do? So for instance, really quick on this, we changed the water to be inside on this fan build instead of on the roof, and the main reason for that, on the roof worked great, the gravity feed worked great, we just couldn't see how much water we had, and we also couldn't fill it
easily.
We couldn't just go to a Walmart and get jugs of water. Or when I tested it for the first time, I just went and had a little glass like this at the campground and just filled it until there was enough, and that would have lasted a couple days. So anyway, we like simple, easy, not depending on. So that when the Delta Pro went out, it was like, okay, this is not going to work. We still have the River Pro, which is EcoFlow.
The little guy.
Yeah, which handles the refrigerator. And so what we did, we were at a campground at the time, and we would just take it every night and charge it in a wall charge. It takes about an hour to charge.
Yeah.
And then that would last overnight, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would pick up later.
And we would connect our portable solar to it, which then recharged that one.
Right. So, but what it proved to us was that the Delta Pro is not going to work. Because if it goes out, we're kind of like, there's no TV, there's no Starlink. We need to have a connection, outlet.
I can't use my induction stovetops. I can't use my coffee maker, number one.
Yeah, and so it was going to be hard. So what we're going to do is, it's Costco. It's under warranty, but we're not going to warranty it. We're going to send it back to Costco and have them take it back. And what we did in the meantime is I ordered 4 more River Pros. And this is our second attempt, and there might be a third attempt, I guess 3, might be a third attempt, might be a 4th, whatever, but this is our second attempt at a solution, and this goes back to what I originally wanted to do. But basically we have 5 now EcoFlow River Pros.
So let me show you where those are at. So here's this one that has always been on the counter. connected to the refrigerator. I use for cooking and the coffee maker. And so here are the other ones that Bob has set up. They are in this nice little Tupperware drawer container that Bob found at Walmart, and he modified them. But we have 4 of the River Pros sitting under there with the inverter. So you want to explain what's happening there?
So what I basically did, at least right now, and I'm trying different things. First, I had them all hooked together, daisy chained together. So you can come out of here, DC output, and then go into the DC input over on the side, or the charging solar, or the car charging on the side. So I daisy chained them all together. Well, that seemed fairly inefficient, and so I changed it. Plus, we added 400 of flexible solar on the roof. We'll talk about that in another video. But these only handle 200 watts of solar each. So I needed to break them into 2. So now what I have is I have 2 River Pros, and they're 720 watt hours each. I have 2 of those daisy chained together, and that handles the house stuff. So lights, TV, Starlink, I guess I'm trying to think what else. You know, the other stuff that's not related to the refrigerator.
A water pump or water heater.
Yeah, water pump, not water heater though.
Oh.
So then I have 2 other ones. And you might say, well, you know, you use 3. I did, but it didn't seem very efficient with that 3rd one in there, because it loses like 10 watts per hour when it goes from 1 to 1. So you're losing 20 watts per hour, which over 24 hours is quite a bit of watts. So what I did then is I just have 2. And again, we're still testing, but it seems to be working halfway decent. So that's the refrigerator, kitchen batteries, and then the other one's the house batteries. And then solar goes into those individually. They're daisy chained together, but not across each other. So they're separate. And then I have 1 spare one. And either I'll take that one back, or I have used it. I've like the kitchen was running out, so I just took it and put it in here. So far, it's not perfect, and on the house side is perfect. I mean, we can sit and watch TV with Starlink and all that. Like things, it's also like summer solstice is like today or tomorrow.
Yeah, we're having some great solar power, except for today.
Yeah, well, not only that, we're not in sitting, because like in the middle of winter, we're in at 5 o'clock because it's dark, whatever. So a lot different. But that being said, house is no problem. The kitchen one is working, but the kitchen also runs the diesel heater and diesel water heater. I'm going to change that. I'm going to switch that up a little bit. Anytime you use an inverter off of anything, it is not as efficient. I think maybe 90% efficient, maybe a little less. So you lose some watts, battery power.
But the bonus thing about this power inverter that you have under here, when we drive, then that charges everything, right?
Yeah, but that's different. So there's inverters on these River Pros.
Oh yeah, embedded in them. Yes.
Yeah, I charge it off this 1,000 watts. So these will individually charge at 600, about 600 watts when we're driving. And that's 1,000 watts inverter that's on the alternator. So I have about 400 left. So what I do is I set up all of them to slow charge, except for one. That'll go at 600. So the other ones that slow charge are about 100. It ends up being 125, something like that. So the nice thing with this is, if we, whatever, like right now it's raining or we don't have much solar, we can either drive or we can find an outlet. And these are easy to take in.
Yep.
I mean, not all 5, but
sure,
you can take 1, 2 into a coffee shop and plug it into the wall.
Well, and we can drive an hour and have them all fully charged, right?
No. Because we're only charging 1,000 watts.
So how long does it take to charge them driving?
One of them would take about an hour, you know. So, because if you look at it, these are each 740, but let's just make it 700 so I don't have to do the math. So it's 3,500 watt hours. And so if you have 1,000 watt inverter filling them, you're at 3.5 hours of driving. Minimum.
Okay.
But these charge from 0 to 80% or 90%, I can't remember which was, like in an hour. I mean, they charge super fast.
They do.
I mean, EcoFlow is really, really nice. And the Delta Pro may be the solution for you too. We just can't take that risk, you know, because it really worked well. It was in here. These are better they're smaller, but they're, this isn't quite as nice as the Delta Pro was.
Yeah, but we can individually take those out, use those individually. If we're in a pinch, we can take them out, charge them somewhere. They're much better from that standpoint.
And, and you maybe check back in the channel in about a week or two and find out that we went back to Delta Pro.
This is true.
And that's because I'm saying this is because we're still testing this out. But what we are going to be doing, we ordered a 12-volt refrigerator that's going to replace our 110-volt inverter required refrigerator. And that should come in sometime this week. So that'll
So there goes
help.
the plan of if the refrigerator goes out, we're screwed.
Well, but it was pretty fast shipping from Amazon, but it is an issue. But the only thing is we could temporarily go back to a $150 refrigerator until we get the other one. So it gives them some options. But we're hoping that refrigerator then doesn't drain down the River Pros as fast. So
because truly it's come down to the actual refrigerator causing most of the problems.
Yeah,
right?
So the problem is we are not powering the refrigerator correctly. So we're using a 110 volt refrigerator in a van that doesn't have shore power. So that is the problem. But we did that on our other van too, and it didn't really cause problems, but it did. Sometimes we would get low and hard to catch up. It's the refrigerator that's the problem, but we wanted a stand-up refrigerator. We did not want a chest refrigerator. They take up too much room. They don't work in our layout for us, even though I know they're very efficient. So if this refrigerator that we're getting is as advertised, then we are good. Somebody said they had never seen it go about 27 watts. So I'm not sure if they're in the Antarctic when they're using it. I'm not, I don't know the details, but if that holds true, or even 40 watts, because it cycles, it doesn't run constantly, it's probably going to work pretty good for us.
I have to say the other thing that we have found to be unusual for us is we have sat still for a really long period of time, and that is never the case because we've been working on projects, so the van hasn't been running, that has not been charging things, and we have always relied on that because we're on the move all the time. And we really have found in the last month we have been sitting still for various reasons, and so that is one of the problems, and I don't see that to be the future. But
well, so we have two problems. We have the refrigerator that's 110 volt, which doesn't work really well, and we have a Jeep. And so the Jeep is a problem because we end up using the Jeep to get around.
Yes.
And we don't use the van. Today we drove to Silverton, Colorado with the van on purpose to charge the batteries.
Yep.
But we're using the Jeep a lot now. And so
true. Very good point.
So it's totally different. So it's like that this is us. Everything changes. So it's kind of like, let's get a EcoFlow that has a 10-year warranty. We need it for about a year and a half, and then we change our mind. We moved on. We don't own the van anymore. Now we have a Jeep. That it takes up the charging that we used to rely upon. So because we're always moving, even if we're stayed still, we're always driving into town, having lunch, and coming back, and even that little bit would charge the batteries. Less and less now with the Jeep.
Yeah.
So
my arm's getting tired. I think we said what we wanted to say, right?
Yeah. Again, EcoFlow, I think it's great because they charge so fast. Delta Pro may be your solution. It may have been our solution, but yeah, when it's 8 weeks turnaround to get it back. Now, if they would have, I could have taken it down to the local place and they gave me another one.
We would have stayed with it.
Yeah.
Totally.
But no way. We're going to try this. And if this doesn't work, we'll see where we go from here.
So there's our new ideas and our new thoughts and what we're currently using. And we will get back to you in a month and we will show you
another solution.
Solution that we came up with.
Back to Victron and Battleborn batteries. So.
Oh my God.
Maybe we should get sponsored by Battleborn, because I always call them Battleborn batteries, but they're actually just lithium batteries. So.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you on tomorrow's video.